And it's so often overlooked when it comes to health and well-being. Such a simple thing, water, right? Not so complicated as various food preparations or different types of exercise, yet so fundamental to our life. So by changing your water, you can make a huge difference to your life. So who is behind this famous Kangen water? It is the company known as Enagic. Yeah, most people think Kangen is the name of the company. Actually, Kangen is the proprietary name of the water. This company, Enagic, is based in Okinawa in Japan and has a factory in Osaka. It was founded almost 50 years back by Mr. Oshiro, and it is an original equipment manufacturer. So basically, this is a original equipment manufacturer means what? That unlike many other ionizer companies, this company will make everything in-house. They will not buy parts left, right, and center. They will make everything in-house, and then from the plastics, from the plates, even the cardboard box in which the machine is shipped, everything is made in-house. So the process of quality control is from A to Z. This company has many certifications and awards. One of the most fundamental ones is from United States Water Quality Association, WQA. This is basically an independent body that certifies companies which are active in the water space, be it ionization, be it filtration, and other aspects of water. Enagic is, so what many companies do is they show you on their website a certificate. But unless you zoom in and look carefully, this is a certificate of membership. Yeah, being a member is not a proof of quality. A proof of quality from WQA is the so-called gold seal award. Enagic has 4 of these. So it can be said that Enagic is the undisputed leader of ionization in the world because they're the only one with ISO 13485. We'll look at that in a minute, what that is. It has offices all over the world, and Enagic is also a member of the Direct Selling Association, not only here in India, in every country where we operate. So wherever you are living, those of you logged in, Enagic will be certified as such. There are more than 40 offices which serve about 170 plus countries. Here you have a map. As you can see, the main offices are in Japan and United States, respectively. That's where the company started, first in Japan, then they first went to United States, and slowly they branched out across the rest of the world and still expanding. The latest office, maybe later in the Q&A session, we can have an update or somebody can type it in the chat. I know there's at least one of you connected from UK. London office should be opening anytime soon, or it has already opened. So among these certifications, and one thing I want new people to consider is when you're looking at an ionizer company, one important part of research is the certifications. So when you go to a website of a company, when you see them mentioning any award, check, is it available? Can I click on it and zoom it? And does it have a QR code to verify the authenticity of the certificate? This is very important, especially when it comes to really, really difficult to obtain certifications like ISO 13485, which is the medical grade certification. Just for your information, in most countries in the world, it takes 7 years to achieve. In Japan, it takes 12 plus years. Even if you're a medical device manufacturer recognized and licensed in other countries, in Japan, you have to start from scratch. There's a very beautiful video about this from a US medical equipment inventor who talks about this process and how it is amazing that Enagic has achieved this in Japan itself. And so when you go to any company's website, you will see is usually if a certificate is mentioned, you cannot click on it. If you can click on it, it's so pixelated, you cannot actually read what it says, or it's in another language than English without a translation provided. So just ask yourself a question. Yeah? If you spent millions and millions of dollars and you have waited many years for a particular certification, wouldn't you proudly display it, at least in a high resolution image and in a language that can be understood by most? Yeah. So these are the kind of questions you can ask yourself when you're looking at these possibilities. So here, for example, is the gold seal by the WQA. Here are a couple of famous exponents of the medical field. I want to be careful with my words here, because one person on this list is not a medical doctor. That is Bob Wright. He's the director of the American Anti-Cancer Institute, but he himself suffered cancer twice and lost both his parents to cancer. So he's definitely a great authority when it comes to cancer. Even many medical doctors say that the book he has written, called Killing Cancer, Not People, is the best book on cancer in the world. Yeah, imagine a medical doctor who himself authored books on cancer saying this other book is the #1 book on cancer. Yeah, so if you know anyone who is afflicted by this condition, please suggest them to read Killing Cancer, Not People. It could be a real turnaround for many people. And in his book, he has an entire chapter about not any ionized water, specifically Kangen water. And he mentions it as one of the top 10 protocols for anybody afflicted by cancer. Then we have Dr. Hiromi Shinya, who is the co-inventor of colonoscopy. He's probably one of the most famous allopathic doctors in the world. He recently retired. He's in his 80s. And without ever informing the company until much later in his career, he was giving his patients Kangen water. In fact, he says, if people would eliminate dairy products, red meat, and drink Kangen water, most of the cardiac issues, cancer and diabetes, would vanish from the face of the planet. These are not my words, these are his words. You can find them in his book called The Enzyme Factor, which is available pretty much all over the world. It's one of the best sellers. It can be read by anyone who doesn't have a medical degree. It's quite plain language that he uses. Then just one more person, if you don't mind, I wish to highlight at the bottom left of your screen, Dr. Corinne Allen. She's one of the foremost brain specialists in the world. She treats people who have had traumatic brain injuries, either due to a stroke or a car accident, or children with ADHD, autism, senior people with Parkinson's, Alzheimer's. So she says without using the Kangen water, she cannot achieve the kind of results that she does within her practice. And in fact, brain being one of the most sensitive parts of the body to water, it is supremely sensitive to dehydration. So the water that we're looking at today can make a huge difference when people have these conditions. Not only that, the gut and the brain are very directly connected. As Dr. Shinya elaborates clearly, when your colon is clear, and this is a known fact, both in medical science, in yoga, and many other disciplines, that if you have a clean colon, your overall health is definitely not far away. And in fact, more and more medical studies are showing that even issues like any mental disorder, be it in children or adults or Parkinson's, more degenerative diseases, all of them are directly related to the some unhealthy situation in the gut or stomach area, somewhere in the digestive tract. There is some issue happening. So I don't want to elaborate too much on this, but here are some of these books that I mentioned: The Enzyme Factor, Killing Cancer, Not People, and other books which talk specifically about the water. And so here are the couple of different quality marks. So the most important one is ISO 13485. This means you're producing a medical equipment which can be placed in a hospital. Yeah, so you can imagine what kind of rigorous testing equipment has to go through to be utilized like that. Not only that, the machines used by Enagic started their life in Japanese hospitals. It's only much later that the company thought of making smaller units for domestic usage. Enagic has 3 lines of products, though we're mostly known for the Levelux series of water ionizers. There's also a home spa system, which is called as the Anespa DX, which basically ionizes mineral water, removes chlorine, and via filtration with stones from a Japanese hot spring, creates an effect as if you're at a spa center right in your own home. And last but not least, there is the Kangen Wukong. Wukong means turmeric in Japanese. This is a supplement made from a special kind of turmeric which grows on the tip of the island of Okinawa in Japan, which has a very particular kind of soil. So in the dietary supplement, they mix the so-called spring Wukong and autumn Wukong, a couple of important oils, to make a antioxidant capsule with many properties, which can be had as a dietary supplement. Otherwise, the other products in the Wukong range are tea and skin products like soap bars. So now let's look at the 3 unique properties of the Kangen water. Actually, there's one more, a very important property, and which has the most direct correlation to any of you maybe with a science background, and the most easily researchable one is the molecular hydrogen or active hydrogen in the water. This is a phenomenal element in nature, the smallest antioxidant and the only selective antioxidant which kills only the free radicals which are harmful in the body. Now let's look at these 3 properties one by one: antioxidation, superior hydration, and alkalization. Yeah? Antioxidation is basically the rusting process. What happens with an apple or a vegetable or a banana? If you cut them in half, slowly the color will change. This is due to the oxidation process. But what people don't realize is this happens in living tissue inside the human body also. To some extent, this is a natural process. For example, when you have to digest food, some oxidation is needed. Yeah? Or when a cell is terminated, some oxidation is needed. But in most processes, oxidation speeds up the inflammation and aging process in the system, therefore making you more prone to disease. So can we stop aging? Of course we can't, but we can slow it down or speed it up according to choices that we make. And this is one of them, because the level of antioxidants in 1 glass of Kangen water equals 5 kg of broccoli or 2 kg of blueberries. So it's a level of antioxidants which is very hard to get by in any other form. So let's look at this chart. This is the oxidation reduction potential. If a value is positive, it means it will oxidize your body further. This is any sports drink, tap water, bottled water, RO water, which is reverse osmosis, distilled water. These all add oxidative stress. Therefore, the value is a positive ORP or millivolts MV. Whereas on the left-hand side of your screen, you see antioxidants like vitamin C, green tea, cod liver oil, and at the far end of the scale, the very powerful Kangen water. These are all negative or antioxidant liquids, which are having a negative charge or millivolts. So now let's look at it with this short video. Oops, sorry. I mistakenly went ahead. How do I go back? 1 second. Sorry, my presentation got stuck. Yes. All right, let's try this again. Oh, there's a slight lag in my system, sorry. Okay, we'll do this another way. I have it open in VLC. Just give me a second. Sorry for the interruption. So we will now look at the antioxidation. First is tap water. Then we have reverse osmosis water, which is quite commonly available in India and other parts of Asia, and more making its inroads in Europe also. Then bottled waters like Fiji, Evian, yeah. Then we have 7-Up. 7-Up here represents sports drinks and sparkling water also. I used to be a diehard sparkling water fanatic till I saw this demonstration. And next we have the Kangen water on the far right hand side. So now what we'll do is, our friend Simon here, using this ORP meter, he will measure the value of these various liquids that we're looking at. If it's a positive value, it is oxidizing. If there's a minus in front, this is anti-oxidizing. So this first water is tap water, which is quite oxidizing, plus 400. The exact value will vary from country to country and city to city, but most readings I have seen also till date is anywhere above 200 to 300, 400. Then we have RO water, also very oxidizing. Now look at these bottled waters. People pay fortune, especially for these two brands, and it is super oxidizing water. Soft drinks, sports drinks, I'm sure you're not surprised that it is the highest value till now, more than 500. Now look at the reading when it goes into the Kangen water. Quickly jumps to negative 500 and still going down as he removes the probe all the way to minus 550. It can even go up to minus 700 or 800, depending on which model you have and what is the input water that you're using. So just allow me to switch screens again. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry for this slight workaround. Next, we'll look at the superior hydration. What does it mean, superior hydration? One Nobel Prize winner in 2003, his name is Dr. Peter Agre, he discovered that he wrote on the concept of aquaporins. Aquaporins are basically, I don't know how to say this, gatekeepers that decide what is allowed inside the cell and what isn't. So what happens is, regular clusters of water has an affinity for molecules to stick together. So usually the clusters are between 15 to 25 molecules. These are generally too big and therefore little difficult to absorb. In fact, any water, regular water, is absorbed only at the tune of around 20%, which explains why many people can't drink more water and why they feel bloated or uncomfortable or even have this vomiting sensation if they try to increase their water intake. It's mainly because of this. However, if you drink microclustered water, which may have 5 to 6 molecules approximately in one cluster, this water is more easily absorbed inside the human cell. So what does it mean? Why is this so important? Because the human body is a little over 70% water. And why do we need this water? Carrying nutrients to the body, detoxing the system from acidic impurities and waste. We need water to eliminate urine and feces. We need water to carry oxygen around the body. Though the body is comprised of 70+% water, almost 100% of functions in the body are dependent on water. So it is a very important element of our life. Now, let's see if the video works now. I doubt it. Okay, we'll switch again to the other screen. Now we will look at the microclustering. Now, this is a tea bag, a green tea bag, just a plain green tea. Yeah, we're gonna use it in a way you may have never seen before. So what does this tea bag represent? Imagine this to be the cell in your body. So if a cell can absorb easily, the water can go inside and outside quickly. So that means you can make, in this case, you can make the tea. Keep in mind, this is room temperature water, which has not been boiled. Yeah. So now we'll just look at two waters, normal tap water, which most people would use to make tea, and Kangen water. Can you see the difference? Just by moving the tea bag around a bit, the tea has come out even in room temperature Kangen water, but not so much in the regular water. This is just to illustrate what I was mentioning before about the microclustering effect. This is what it means, absorbing 80% versus absorbing 20% of the water that you take in. Now he's gonna do something similar. He's gonna squeeze a little bit of the tea into these 2 cups. This represents the nutrients that we take. Many people take a lot of care in their food. Maybe they even buy organics. Maybe they take some supplements, etc. But what happens if you make all this effort and expense and you're drinking regular water? As you can see on the left-hand side of your screen, it just gets diluted. Whereas on the right-hand side, it gets fully absorbed. One famous nutritionist from United States says, if you're taking care of exercise and diet and you're taking proper supplements, but you're drinking normal water, mostly you only have expensive urine. Yes? It means a lot of your own efforts are going waste, literally going down the toilet. In fact, what's not shown here is if you would take a little bit of Kangen water and put it in the glass on the left, which is almost transparent, that water would become yellow. Just to show you that actually the ingredients, the minerals, vitamins are there, but you're just not drinking the right water. Now, coming back to our presentation, let's look at, we've looked at the hydration. Now we look at the pH. Now this is a very tricky subject because if you Google alkaline water, you will get a lot of negative articles, and rightly so, because there are many ways to make water alkaline. And most of those ways include inserting synthetic minerals or adding some kind of bicarbonate. If you make a water alkaline in whichever way, your body may not be able to break it down, and it may mess up the pH in your stomach. Whereas Kangen water, though it has a high level of alkalinity, when it comes in contact with very acidic substances like your stomach acid, it gets completely neutralized. You'll see this in this demo. So just keep in mind, when the color is light green, yellow, or orange, it is acidic or very acidic. On the other hand, if a liquid after putting pH drops is dark green, blue, or purple, it is alkaline or more alkaline. In plain words, if we push acidic substances into our body, we are more prone to sickness. This is not only food and water. This is negative emotions, stress, air pollution. Whereas if we try to have more alkaline things and have a healthy mental environment also, and maybe we live in an area which is not very polluted, then we are more prone to an alkaline body where the health is more predominant. Even the pH of the blood, if you didn't know, is 7.34 and has a very narrow margin of operation. So if you keep putting acidic substances in your system, your blood pH will still be around that level. But to get to that level, your body has to do a lot of compensatory activity, which is not healthy for your body overall. So now let's look at this other aspect. I will directly switch to the other video so we don't waste time here. Sorry. Yes, pH. So the same waters we've seen before, we'll look at them now with pH drops, which you can buy from this can be bought from any aquarium store or places like that, or even from Amazon. These are usually used to test aquariums or swimming pools. So just a couple of drops in each. So now keep in mind again the pH scale. Now we're gonna see what happens to the system when we use this water. First of all, let's look at the colors of these waters. Yeah. So tap water on your far left is green. That means it's neutral or slightly alkaline. That is so all over the world because municipal governments all over the world have to ensure it is like this. Otherwise, the pipes would rust because in most countries, the pipes are made of steel or iron. Yeah. So, but this is achieved by adding some chemicals to the water. Also because the water would pick up a lot of germs on the way. So depending on the country or city, different chemicals are added to maintain a certain level of non-toxicity, and alkalinity. Yeah, but if you do not filter this water, at the very least, you're asking for trouble. Yeah. Next is the RO water, which of course is very acidic because it barely has any minerals in it. So all the alkaline minerals are taken out by the reverse osmosis filters and similar systems. Then Fiji and Evian are alkaline or slightly alkaline. So this may be, most bottled waters are actually acidic. These two are neutral or slightly alkaline. But as we've seen in the previous test, they are very oxidizing. So still not a healthy choice. Also, in most countries, for you to be able to bottle water, you have to sterilize it before, remove the minerals, and then artificially reinsert minerals. So this may vary from country to country. I cannot say this as a blanket statement, but I would say find out in your country how bottled water is made. And generally also it's kept on the shelves and transported to different cities or even different countries. So the water is in the bottle for many weeks, if not months, before you consume it. And if you read the label of the bottles, usually it will say do not expose to sun, extreme temperature changes, all that. But you can imagine what happens when it is transported. Then we have the 7-Up, which once again represents all the sparkling waters, and sports drinks also. This is very acidic, no surprise for sure. In fact, if you test 7-Up from a can, the pH drops make it red. It's almost as acidic as your stomach acid. And on the far right-hand side, dark blue beginning to be purple is the Kangen water. So now what does this mean? That these colors are just a visual representation to give a little idea of what's going to happen. So suppose you start drinking Kangen water and you drink any of these waters. Yeah, the body slowly becomes a little more alkaline. Somebody might sleep better. Somebody might have a little more energy. Somebody might feel that their bowel movement is better. Different things may happen to different people. It really depends on a lot of factors. However, if you have the habit of drinking sodas, sparkling water, sports drinks, look at what happens when you drink Kangen water. Almost nothing. In fact, to neutralize 1 glass of 7-Up, it takes, I believe, 33 glasses of Kangen water. That's the kind of damage these drinks do to our system. Now the reverse. If you thought this was shocking, just look at the reverse. If you drink healthy water, but you just want one little sip of fizziness, look what happens to your body. It gets completely acidified. Unbelievable. About 150 ml of water gets neutralized in terms of the pH level by just 5 ml of 7-Up. The day I saw this demo, I stopped drinking sparkling water. I grew up in Netherlands, where sparkling water is like the thing. Even in Italy, my native country, it is the thing. But I immediately stopped. I just couldn't bring myself to do that anymore to my system. So actually, this machine is not only famous for its drinking water. It has other settings also, which are very, very phenomenal. One thing is the strong Kangen water. So how do you normally wash fruits and vegetables? Now, most people, they'll use water with salt or baking soda or turmeric, or they buy a vegetable cleaner, yeah? But what happens? These things are sprayed on most products we buy. Not everybody buys organics. And if people buy organics, they won't buy 100% of the time, because in most countries, it is much more costly than the normal. So suppose you buy, or you could have your own vegetable garden, but even there, most people will not be able to substitute all their foods from what they buy in the supermarket. So what is sprayed on the things that we typically buy? Pesticides, herbicides, fungicides. If you see the people spraying these things, how they are dressed, how they're covering their face and nose, just think about this sentence for a while. If it's not safe to breathe, how can it be safe to eat? Yeah. So what are we, in other words, what are we giving to our family when we buy from the local store or the supermarket? Unless it is, home produced or organic. Now, this is a little spoiler image, but I actually want to show you the video where you see it more properly. This is one of the main reasons actually that people decide to invest in this machine. It's just for this property alone. We're going to demonstrate it by using some sesame oil and some cherry tomatoes. Sesame oil is quite dark in color, so it shows little easily, but to some extent it does the same to any type of oil. So little sesame oil, tap water, which is what people usually use to clean their fruits and veggies. What happens, as we all learned in school, oil and water don't mix. Yeah, the water will push the oil on top. But now let's see what happens when we use the 11.5 pH strong Kangen water, which is one of the other waters from the machine that you generate just by pressing a button. Look carefully what happens to the oil. Have you ever seen anything like this? It gets completely emulsified or broken down. There are almost no chemical cleaners which can achieve this. And if they do this, it is with high amount of synthetic chemicals, which have, you know, a 2-page prescription of side effects of what happens if it would come into contact with your eyes or your hands. This 11.5 pH water, you can pour it on your hands, you can have a sip, nothing will happen to you. Now, let's demonstrate the same thing with these non-organic cherry tomatoes. Normal water and 11.5 pH strong Kangen water. You can just leave it for a minute, but in the interest of time, he's just poking it a bit so that the effect happens faster. But usually, if you leave it just 2-3 minutes, it'll happen just by itself. Some of you are watching this on the mobile phone, so I don't know if you can see the color, but those of you watching on the laptop, you can probably already see what's happening. See, normal water, you might eliminate some dust or some mud, but not much else. But now look what color of water comes out of this. Unbelievable, right? This is not green tea, yes? This is pesticides, herbicides, fungicides. This is what we eat on a daily basis. And people are surprised that younger and younger and younger people get all kinds of issues that normally only adults have. And for example, pesticides are known to be carcinogenic, but also to mess up the hormonal system. Why are many very, very young girls hitting puberty so early? Or why are many people having fertility issues? Here in India, but I'm sure in many other countries, maybe also where you live, every second street there is a fertility clinic. Yeah. If we are such, as a generation of people, we are so advanced in our technology, in our awareness about health and well-being, yet a fundamental function, right, reproduction, is so compromised. That obviously means somewhere we're doing something wrong, isn't it? So now, basically, there are 5 types of water generated by the machine. The strong Kangen water, which you've just seen, the effect on the cherry tomatoes. The Kangen water with pH ranging from 8.5 to 9.5 for normal drinking and everyday drinking. Then clean water, which is a neutral water for taking medication. Beauty water, which is having a similar pH to the skin and hair, can be used for bathing. And strong acidic water for sterilization purposes. Now, clean water, which you achieve by pressing the green button on the machine, is for taking allopathic medication. Yeah, time-release medication. Because of the hydration power of the Kangen water, if you take allopathic medicines with that, it will get released more quickly into your bloodstream. Yeah, so depending on what medicine you're taking, that may not be good for you. Yeah, so we always recommend, and the company recommends, please have allopathic medication with clean water. Yeah? But I can tell you, if you're using homeopathy, Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani, or any other system of medicine, just consult with your doctor. Most likely, they will advise you to use the Kangen water instead. This is specifically to allopathic medication and also to prepare a baby formula. Beauty water has so many functions, especially ladies will love this water, but I'm sure some gents will also really enjoy it. It will moisturize your skin and hair. It can relieve to some extent or reduce the eye bags. It controls the oil on your skin. Even on your hair, that's been one effect for me. My hair is much less greasy and oily. The pores are refined. Pimples can reduce. Your skin becomes more firm and elastic. In a way, you could say it mimics the functions of a moisturizer, a toner, and a skin tightener. But you can produce it yourself at no additional cost, and it has no strong artificial chemicals to achieve this effect. The strong acidic water, 2.5 pH, contrary to what the name might suggest, is a perfectly safe water for your hands. Yeah. Many people doing household chores in most countries will wear gloves, rubber gloves, yeah, because they don't want that cleaning agent to touch their skin. This strong acidic water, you can bottle it and spray it. You can carry it around as a hand lotion. Instead of using the yucky lotions that we mostly get in shops now during this COVID time, which are smelly, sticky, and attack your skin. And some people who have sinus or allergies get extremely triggered by this kind of products. This water is completely neutral in smell. It dries up by itself on your skin, and it will not make your skin sticky. You can use this water to sanitize knives, cutting boards. You can spray it on your toothbrush or tongue cleaner. You can gargle with it. Basically, wherever sterilizing action is needed, whether in the home or on your body for external application, you can use this strong acidic water. Where else is this water very strong? In conditions like psoriasis, eczema, acne. Look at this gentleman from India. He's a nurse, I believe. This is the effect he achieved in 2 months. By drinking Kangen water, bathing with beauty water, and daily multiple time application of strong acidic water on his back. See the difference, 2 months. Yeah? Once again, I'm not here to make medical claims. This is just a personal experience of this particular gentleman. But if you scavenge the YouTube, you will find many, many testimonials about a wide spectrum of diseases, what it has done to individuals. But the company always takes the position that this water is neither a cure nor a healing power. Simply, what does the water do? It puts the body in a certain state of balance where it can take care of itself. Because body is always designed for health and well-being. These are a couple of famous exponents of the Kangen water. Were happily photographed with their bottle or their machine. They're not promoting the company because the company doesn't do any publicity, which is why, though it's such an important product, you may have never heard of this company or this water, because they have chosen an approach of direct selling. That is, they do not pay anyone for endorsements. You can be involved in the company in another way, which we'll talk about later, but they will not just pay you just because of your fame and status to talk about their water. So on the top right-hand side, you see famous business coach and real estate mogul, Grant Cardone. On the bottom right, you see one of the most famous boxers of the last 20, 30 years, Manny Pacquiao from Philippines. He's a record holder in many, many categories, including, I think, 5 different weight classes. He's a total phenomenon in the boxing world. And even not yet here is Cristiano Ronaldo, one of the most famous football players in the world. He also has our machine. But if you Google it, depending on the country where you live, you can just type Kangen celebrities and then add the name of your country. You will be surprised at who you will find. And for example, on the top line, fourth from left, you see famous celebrities from India who have this water, like Shishi Ravi Shankar, and a whole host of A-list Bollywood actors like Hrithik Roshan, Shah Rukh Khan, and many, many others. So basically, this is a highly complex technological device, but very user-friendly DIY machine. You can self-install it in most countries of the world. In India, you may need the help of a technician, and other countries where the water is either very hard or has a high TDS, you may need a pre-filtration system. Otherwise, in most countries, You just use an adapter, hook it up to your tap, and you're done in less than 5 minutes. Maintenance is totally do it yourself. Once a day, you run beauty water to clean the plates. Once a month, you do what we call as e-cleaning. And once a year, you do a deep cleaning. That's it. The overall cost of maintenance is about $150 US, 120 euro, or 10,000 rupees for a year. The overall cost is low, especially if you use the other waters for beauty, for cleaning. You will save a lot of money that usually goes into all these household and beauty products. The warranty is 3 to 5 years depending on the model, but the lifespan is 20-25 years above if you simply do the maintenance properly. Support is global. Many countries have their own office. Here in India, it's in Bengaluru, for example. But the number of offices is growing, and there are many service stations also beside the offices. These are just a glimpse of the various machines. This is the bestseller globally, the SD501, which has 7 solid titanium plates. In fact, this is the bestseller in many countries. Even today, right now, I'm in a city in India called Chennai. I have 2 machines with me right beside me, going to install. So very excited about that. This machine is in US dollars about 4,000 US dollars. I'm saying about because if you buy in the US, local taxes determine the final price. But all over the world, this is approximately the price. Yeah. So in euro, this is about 3,000 euro. In India, this is about 2.77 lakh, etc., etc. The durability, based on a pessimistic calculation of 15 years, sorry, the cost based on a pessimistic calculation of 15 years of lifespan is less than $1 a day. This is not for 1 liter. This is not for 1 person. This is for every member of your household, as much water as they need for drinking, cooking, bathing, cleaning, beautifying. These are some of the models available with their prices. Now we get into the marketing plan for those of you who are interested in this aspect, because Mr. Oshiro, in his visionary approach, he always saw this as an opportunity because he grew up extremely poor. Okinawa was one of the poorest parts of Japan because it stayed under US control even after Japan surrendered after the Second World War. And because of heavy military presence, there was always a lot of struggle in Okinawa, and the development didn't happen at the pace of the rest of the country. Even now, Okinawa struggles in many parameters when it comes to economy. And Mr. Oshiro is one of the people who is really trying to bring Okinawa up to par with the rest of Japan. So he always thought that these 3 components should be there for everyone: a healthy mind, a healthy body, and healthy finances. He said if any of these 3 is missing, it's difficult to lead your life, full blown, to go all out in things. So he always thought, can I have a product which has inbuilt also an opportunity for a secondary source of income, which can be either simply somebody saying, you know what, I just wish to earn back the investment of my machine. I'm not really interested in business. Somebody else might say, I know a lot of people, I like this product, I'll give you referrals to other people, but I don't want to be involved in the business. Fine. Or somebody says, you know what, I want a secondary source of income or an extra source of income. And some people even say, wow, I want to be fully engaged in this project as my first and foremost activity. All these things are possible. So basically, this works like a brokerage system in real estate. Imagine you are a real estate agency owner and you have a few brokers working for you. If you make a sale, you earn directly. If they make a sale, they earn a part of commission, and then you earn a part of commission. This is called over and down system, or the 8-point system. In fact, Enagic patented this system globally. So it cannot even be copied by other companies. So it's a proven device for the mass market. Anyone who drinks water is a prospect, and over 5 billion worth of machines has been sold till date. And it's just the beginning. In every country where Enagic operates, including US, where it's been active for almost 20 years, Still, we are at the early innovators phase. That means if you know the curve of innovation or the law of innovation diffusion, we're still at the infancy of a giant wave. Because if you know about scarcity of water, ever expanding pollution, the fact that private firms buy up water resources in many countries, it's not much of a stretch of imagination to imagine that a machine like this will be an essential household item not too far into the future. Over 1.5 million machines have been already sold globally. And you know what? Just about 2-3 months ago, Enagic achieved 1% market penetration in California in the US. If you think about California, definitely one of the first things you will think is high tech, yeah, and the fact that California is a trendsetter for the rest of the United States. So this is very, very promising when you look at the business opportunity, because it means that the rest of US will follow suit, and whatever US does, fortunately or unfortunately, it is copied by many other countries around the world. In this case, I would say fortunately, because here we're talking about health and well-being. So if this is an indicator of things to come, which it should be, we're all in a good position. Those of us already involved and those of you joining today and are just curious about what is this all about. Now, what is beautiful and what sets it aside from other direct sales programs or so-called network marketing companies is, here we don't have any monthly qualifications. So nobody from Enagic will call you and say, hey, why didn't you make 5 sales this month? There's no such thing. You simply have a machine. With that machine, you have a distributor code. And with that code, you decide. You want to be active 1 month. You want to be on a holiday for 3 months, 6 months active. Then you want to go on a retreat for 3 months and do yoga meditation. It's totally up to you. Nobody will ask you, are you part-time, full-time, sometime, overtime? You decide. You don't have to tell anyone. You don't have to promise anyone. You just be in touch with the people who introduce you, and you work out a system that works for you. You are a complete business owner, so think independently. There's no stocking of inventory. The machine doesn't go to your house, then you have to bring it to the person you sold to. No, the machine is sent directly from your country office or from Japan to that person. You also don't accept any money. The purchasing of the machine is between the person and the company. You just help out with the paperwork, that's all. There's no annual renewal. You can accumulate sales, direct and indirect. You have international sponsoring. In most franchise-like businesses, you have geographical restrictions. You can only cater to a certain part of your city or a certain part of your country or to a certain region of the world. In Enagic, there is no border. You can sit here in Chennai, where I am today, and sell to somebody in Bangalore. That person in Bangalore can sell to somebody in Malaysia sitting in Kuala Lumpur. That person in Kuala Lumpur can sell to a relative in the US. That relative in the US can again sell to somebody in India, and the cycle goes on and on and on. And the more your team grows, the more your income comes from different countries. So whatever the slight economic ups and downs of different countries, you'll be somewhat cushioned because your income comes from many countries. But even better than this is, in tough times like a pandemic, our business has kept expanding. So that means people are understanding that prevention is better than cure, and that this can be one phenomenal way in that. And also, many people are tired of a 9-to-5 routine. It doesn't suit the way they wish to conduct their life. If they have small children, they want to spend more time with the children. And as you will see now in a moment, when we look at the earning potential, to earn this kind of money, many people have to work for 20, 30, 40 years, maybe potentially have very little time with family, because as their income grows, their responsibility grows, and they have to work longer and longer hours without flexibility of taking off when they wish to. And so let's look at the, sorry, I'm getting carried away a bit. Let's go back to the basics. So if you work in a multi-level program, which this is not, what happens is you are in a binary system where your sales are all automatically allocated to a certain line in your tree, and this has to duplicate itself. If it's not duplicated in a totally symmetric way, you get penalized here or there. And if you don't achieve your minimum target a certain month, you get downranked, you get downsized in your ranking, and your earning becomes less. In Enagic, it is a simple direct sales system where you have direct and indirect sales. You place the sales where you want in your tree. And you simply have a system where direct and indirect sales make group sales. Another way you can look at this is, you went to a restaurant, you like the food, you talk about it to 100 people. Out of 100 people, 10 people also go to the restaurant. Those 10 people also tell their friends. Yeah, and it goes on and on. But will the restaurant ever call you up and say, thank you so much for sending us so many people? No. Yes. Most restaurants, at least that I'm aware of and you might be aware of, don't have any system like that. Our system is very, very close to that. Yeah. Why I'm saying all these examples is because somebody like myself, which maybe some of you also, who is not from a business background, I just couldn't wrap my head around this system. I had to see it 5-6 times before I could just have a bare understanding of what it means. Now, there are various types of commissions in Enagic. So many commissions, yeah. But today we will only focus on the first level of commission, which is what most people are involved in for the first and second, maybe let's say roughly speaking, 1 to 3 years of their Enagic association will be spent in the 8-point system. Some people do it faster, some people do it slower. It just depends on how focused are you. It's not only amount of hours. There are part-timers in Enagic which achieve phenomenal results. It's more about focus and your passion and determination. Let's take a simple calculation based on an SD501, where we're rounding off slightly the numbers. Even the exact commission in different currencies is slightly different. But just to, since people joining us today are from all over the world, we're using US dollars and a rounded off figure of $200 per point. Because in every machine, we have $1,600 allocated for the business partners. In this 1,600, we have 8 points. So you just divide $1,600 by 8 and you get $200. This is 1 point of commission. Now, what does this mean? When you sell your first and second machine, it is a direct sale. You earn 1 point of commission. You become a 1A level distributor. You earn $200. Now, you sold your third direct machine. You became a 2A level distributor with $400 US per sale. That is 2 points. 2 times 200, 400. Once you cross 10 group sales, yeah, you don't have to do all these yourself. Once you cross 10 group sales, your next sale is a direct one. Your 11th sale direct takes you to become a 3A level distributor, where you earn 3 points or $600 US. Yeah, these are big amounts depending on where you live. Yeah, for example, I live in India. When I go to my home country, Italy, this 3A level commission is a return ticket for me. Yeah, and this happens to be the rank where I am at right now, between 3A and 4A. Yeah, so just to give you an example. Yeah, or in India, in most cities, this can cover your entire rent for a month. Yeah, just trying to give practical examples of what this income can mean for people. Yeah, for me, first thing I see this amount, I think, this is my return ticket, Italy, India. Yes. Now, you can apply your own, whatever you have in mind, seeing this figure. Yeah. Once you cross 20 group sales, you become a 4A level distributor. That means you earn 4 times $200. One sale will give you $800. Similarly, you can become a 5A level distributor after 50 sales and a 6A level distributor after 100 sales. 6A rank is the highest rank you can achieve in the 8-point system. Once you become a 6A, every new sale or direct sale that you do, you will get $1,200 of commission. But this is not the only thing, of course. By then, you may have built a big team of people under you. They start making sales. Now let's look at that part, because that is where the real earning is. Now imagine yourself to be on top here, and the amounts mentioned are the amounts you are earning sitting on top. Yeah, we're not looking at other people's earnings here. We're looking at your earnings. Let's say your friend Tom buys your first machine. You earn $200. Tom is very happy with the machine. starts talking to it about maybe a couple of relatives, a couple of friends. He gives the water to some neighbors. Out of that, for now, nothing happens. Yeah, no problem. Tom is interested in the business and keeps doing his thing. In the meantime, you sell to a person called Alex. Maybe he is a friend in the US, and you earn again $200. Alex says, you know what? I'm really busy with my job. I don't have time for the business, but let's see. I'll just drink the water and we'll talk about it again later. No problem. In the meantime, you sold to a person called Rose, and you became a 2A level distributor because this is your third direct sale. You earn $400. Rose is, for now, not interested in the business, but she's very happy with the water. Great. In the meantime, your first sale, Tom, sold to a friend called Grace, and you earn again $200. Remember, this is over and above. Now we're getting to your indirect sales. Grace sold to Polly, and maybe a few months later, Polly sold to Arthur. Maybe not in any conscious effort. Maybe Arthur just asked, hey, what is that machine sitting in your kitchen? Yeah, I've done a few sales like that also. So by the time the sale comes to Arthur, you may have no idea who is Arthur, but you're still earning money. Yeah, this is the power of the leveraging or the indirect sale. Then you sold to a person called Kim. Now, Kim, you became a 2A level distributor. Kim is very interested in, from the day one, she said, you know what? I like this compensation plan. I want to bring this water to as many families as possible. So she also looks for other distributors so she can do more legwork. Because let's face it, you may be very passionate about health, but if you try to sell every machine yourself, it'll be a long journey. Whereas if you get other people on the same page as you, it can be much, much faster. So she, in her first month, she sold to Ali, Abu, and Ani. And you earn 3 times $400. Yeah. Now the leverage is really starting to kick in. Because, oops, sorry. I don't know why that happened. Just a second. Let me quickly repopulate this diagram. Oh, I think I know why this is. Yes, I'm in the wrong. Sorry, I'm supposed to use the slides for this. Just give me a second. No. Yes, so sorry. I was supposed to use these slides. Anyway, my bad. Because here the interactivity works better. So let me quickly populate this. Yeah. So now we're back here. And you sold to May. So now let's see. We have 4 direct sales: Tom, Alex, Rose, and Kim. Out of these sales, 7 indirect sales happen. Grace, Polly, Arthur on your left under Tom. That is your 1A lane. And 3 sales happen under Kim. That is your 2A lane. Ali, Abu, and Ani. Yeah. I hope so far it makes sense. We'll get into Q&A just in a few minutes. We're almost done. Now, in the meantime, you sold to May. And because you have crossed 10 group sales, and this is your next direct, so you have the eligibility to become a 3A level distributor. That means you earn 3 points of commission, $600. In the meantime, because Kim is so enthusiastically taking up the business, she's helping you to make more and more sales. Ani sells to Bryce, Ben, and Bob. And because Kim keeps supporting her downlines, even the people below Ani become excited, and somebody like Bob also takes up and starts selling. Now, we have said this is an 8-point system. Yeah. When people see these things, they think, maybe it's some Ponzi scheme, some pyramid structure. Nothing like that. If it was, the earnings would be endless. But we said 8 points. When an adject says 8 points, they mean 8 points. So what's going to happen? At some point, these points run out. So let's say John sold to Don, yeah, at the bottom of your screen. Now, how much would you get? In theory, you have the right to $400 or 2 points because this is under your 2A leg with Kim. But I hope you find this as fair as I find it. First, John is paid, not you. Is this fair? Because John made the sale. I think it's fair. I think this is one of the amazing features of this compensation plan. It pays from the bottom up. Yeah, this is not like your corporate structure where first how is it called? The investors or the stock owners, depending on what kind of company it is, a limited company or a public company. People pay themselves first, and then whatever is left goes to the staff. I'm being very grossly simplistic, but just to tell you that this is the complete reversal of a pyramid structure. The actual pyramid structures are most corporations, because that's how the pay is done. Here it is different. It is from the bottom up. So 1 point goes to John. So John earns 1 point of commission. Then after John, Bob is paid 2 points. After Bob, Annie is paid 2 points, because this is their third sale respectively. And similarly, Annie was third sale for Kim, so Kim is also paid 2 points. So if you sum this up, it is 7 points. So if you do 8 minus 7, you get left with 1. So you get 1 point of commission. You sitting on top of this team, you get $200. So now what happens when John becomes a 2A? Those of you who are understanding this diagram might have an idea what might happen. If you don't understand it fully, don't worry. Feel free to write questions in the chat, and we'll address it in a couple of minutes. So now when John sells to Dan, or you can ask the person who invited you for this demo. Yeah, they will gladly explain it in more detail. When John sells to Dan, 2 points go to John. Again, 2 points to Bob. Again, 2 points to Annie. Again, 2 points to Kim. So 8 points are exhausted. So what does it mean? 0 points for you. Is this a bad thing? Not really. It simply means this is a non-8A sale. These sales do not count as a group sale, but you start preparing yourself for higher qualifications once you become a 6A. Yeah. Once you become a 6A, you earn some amount, not the same amount, some amount, even beyond your 8 points. Yeah. But even here, you can still make sales within your 8-point system, which I'll explain later if we have time. Anyway, in the meantime, let's suppose you sell to a person called John. He lives in UK. He's your school buddy. And this qualifies you as a 4A person. You earn $800. You continue to make sales here and there. Then you find a person like Simon in Malaysia. And you earn $1,000. And somebody like Simon takes up the business. And maybe in his first 2 months, he sells 5 machines. Fantastic. Because this is your 5A lane, you earn $1,000 times into 5 is $5,000. Very handsome income, isn't it? And like that, you continue. 6A, maybe you sell to a person called Sam, and you earn $1,200. And I just want to remind, once you're 6A, every new direct sale, you earn $1,200. And whatever happens in your tree, so under the already existing sales, you earn accordingly to the rank in which you have enrolled people. So if I can take you back to the top of the screen on the left, Tom, anything happening under Tom is 1 point. Even if Tom makes 50 sales, every sale will give you 1 point. Yeah. Now, before we open the Q&A, one more quick thing. I'm presenting this for the first time, this particular aspect, so please bear with me. Let's see. I have to pull it up. It's right here. Now, I have 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes to complete this. So, right. Here, it's going to be a little more interactive. I need your inputs. So if you can write me in the chat, this is a phenomenal exercise for you and for people whom you're presenting this to show them what is the earning potential. Yeah. So let's look at this table before we start populating it. So on your left-hand side, you have categories of customers. You have end user, which is somebody who buys the machine and is not intending to do the business, but they like drinking the water. Maybe they use it for beauty aspects. Maybe they use it for sanitizing the home. Or somebody has an office, and with one machine, they serve all 50 people in their office. Yeah, that's also a possibility. Or somebody has a restaurant. Yeah, there are many scopes. It's impossible to convey everything in 90 minutes. But then you could have a part-timer. The part-timer is committed, but maybe has 1 hour a day or 5 hours on a weekend, depending on the schedule. Maybe it's a stay-at-home mom. Maybe it's a student, like Simon was when he started the business. The actual Simon, and who you saw in the demo, his name is actually Simon. He started our business as a student, as a part-time. Then you have a full-timer, who is, he or she is mostly dedicated to this as a primary activity. Then on the top of your screen, we have sales per month and sales per year. Yeah. So when it comes to an end user, we're not looking at monthly sales. Yeah. Because this person typically will buy how many machines? Can anybody write in the chat? Or people who are here can tell me. How much will an end user buy? Anyone, any idea? Will they buy 2 machines, 3 machines, 1 machine? Simon Lowe wrote, yes, he is. Yes. Yes, Mighty, I'm sharing my screen. Is it not visible? Can somebody confirm me with the number 9 in the chat that I'm still sharing my screen? Okay, Mighty, you can see it? Just 1 second, sorry. Actually, somebody is sitting right here opposite me. He's our host. He's very intently looking at the presentation. So his screen sharing stopped working. Thank you all so much for your patience. So basically, now, sorry, going back to the chat. Yeah, so 1. Yeah, Dania says one person is one machine sales likely for an end user. Anybody has other thoughts? Is 1 a good number? If you agree with number 1, you can type number 1. If you have another number in mind, please type it. Okay, I guess then number 1 it is. 1 machine. But let's say, if you wish, you come and sit here, sir. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. No problem. So at least you can see it. Yeah. So so basically, what happens is, if the person is happy, will they talk about it to some people? They would, right? And so they would talk about it to someone, and they might generate some referrals for you. Could you give me any number? How many referral sales might an end user give you in a year? In a year, yeah. Nine. Okay. Anybody has any other numbers? Seven. Okay. Right. Yeah. So it could be any of these numbers. Yeah. Something like this. Wonderful. So I'll just type, these are 5. Yes, thank you. Let's take these 3 numbers, 9, 7, and 5, referral sales. I hope it's legible. If you need me to increase the font size, please let me know in the chat. Yeah. Some of you are on a mobile device. I don't know if you can read this properly. Now, we have one more category which we haven't written. That is the sometimer. Sometimer is somebody, as the wind blows, they will do the business. Sometimes full-time, sometimes part-time, but they're not really committed. Yeah. So how many sales a year could you expect from a sometimer? That's why I don't like this. Somebody remove their mute. Just check, please, if you're still muted.
same with business, di ba? Na-reject ka, pinagtawanan ka, di ba?
Can everyone mute themselves, please? I'm unable to find the person who's not muted, so I cannot mute him. Yeah, I don't know. If anyone is, if Simon, if you're still here, can you help me find the person who's not muted? And okay. So, right. So now we have this sum timer. How many sales a year could they make? 3, 5. I think it's Grace. I'll just mute. Sorry, Grace, to mute you, but some disturbance is coming. So we have 3, we have 5. Yeah, okay. Any other number you might give for a sum timer? Okay, we'll stick with these 2 numbers. Now let's get to the meat of the discourse here. How many sales a month can a part-timer make? Somebody who's committed. Let's take again 3 numbers. How many sales a month can a part-timer make? Can you all hear me? I hope the audio is still coming and the connection is still good. All right, 2 per month. At least one person can hear and see us. That's good. Any other ideas? Any other number of sales per month you would like to propose? 6. All right. One more number. Very small. Whoops. Let's make this a little bigger. 1. All right. In fact, we want to be always conservative when we show this. Yeah, we don't want to overpromise people, and people should always keep in mind this is depending on my efforts. So we will take, out of all these numbers, we will take the number 1. Yes, we'll use number 1. Now, so how many sales per year would this be, right? So 12 months. Oops. Grace says 4. Yeah, we'll put 4 also. So for the same logic, we'll stick to the number 1 for now. Yeah, because we want to always be a little conservative in our calculation. Yeah, let people exceed expectations. That's much better than the reverse. Yeah, and let's assume the sales happen in a 2A lane. Again, let's be conservative here. So every sale is giving you a commission of 200 US, sorry, 400 US. That is a 2A level commission. Yeah. Can anybody tell me, if you make 1 sale a month, so 12 sales in a year, how much, and assuming for simplicity's sake, all of them happen in a 2A lane, how much would you be earning here? Can anybody write in the chat? How many direct sales would this be for you? Yeah, 4,800 US dollars. Thank you, Dania. Thank you, Lawrence. USD, 4,800. Exactly. This is direct sales. Now, let's look at the full-timer. How many sales a month do you think a full-timer can make? Somebody who is mostly dedicated herself or himself with a magic. And just for your information, for the new people here, because it's about health and well-being, and it's so flexible, part-time, full-time, sometime overtime, it can be done from home, it can be done while traveling. So many people take this up as a family activity. I myself have other family members involved. And I know many people who do it, brother and sister, father and son, grandparent with grandchildren, siblings. It's really, really amazing, actually. Daniel says 10 sales a month, all right? Wonderful. Any other number that anybody wishes to give for the full-timer? No? I think everybody's happy with 10. Okay. But we're going to be conservative again. We're going to say 3. Yes? We always want to be conservative when we show this calculation to people. Now, let's say we have 3. Once again, into 12 months is, oh, sorry, this is so small again. So this is 36. And again, we're assuming it is in a 2A lane. So we have 36 sales in a year happening. So what would this amount be? Can anybody calculate this for me and let me know in the chat? $14,400 says Lawrence. I think that's correct. Yes. If anybody has another opinion, let us know in the chat. $14,400 US. Direct. Now, we have looked at direct sales only. So let's revisit the part-timer and the full-timer. Is it fair enough to assume that this part-timer will have other people under her or him doing the business? And if so, what would be the ratio of a direct sale to an indirect sale? In your experience, for those of you in the business, and in your thought process, for those of you not yet involved, what do you think? For every direct sale, how many indirect sales would you have? Anybody has a ratio in mind? Please share it in the chat. One is to 1, okay. Anybody else? All right, we'll take 1 is to 1 actually. Yeah, the actual experience is, it could be much higher, but for now, let's take 1 is to 1. So what does it mean? That we have another $4,800 from indirect sales. So what does it mean? It assumes that your one part-timer who works with you makes again a sale a month. Yeah. So this gives you what? This gives you a total of 9,600, isn't it? Please correct me, anyone, if I'm wrong. This should give you 9,600 total sales. Sorry, this color is not so legible. Let me make it a little. I hope it's legible. Then we have, similarly, if we take a 1-to-1 ratio for our full timer, I'm just gonna speed up a bit because I'm running out of time. We get again another 14,000. Yeah, and thank you so much, Lawrence. This gives us a total of, slightly make this smaller. This gives us a total of $28,800. I'm just taking some shortcuts, please don't mind. $28,800. Yes. So now, very important questions to ask ourselves. Is this total sales picture, assuming that you have one part-timer and one full-timer working for you, is it realistic? If you think it's realistic, please type in the chat. You can type R, letter R for realistic, if you find it's realistic. And it's also a check for me to know that you're still paying attention. Anybody there? Please type letter R in the chat. Thank you, Dania. Anybody else still there? 43 people connected, but I don't know what the other 42 are doing. 41, Sophia says R. Okay, thank you. One more person? Can one more person open up the chat and write an R? Only if you agree. If you don't agree, it's fine. We can go through the explanation in a different way. Not necessarily have to agree. Thank you, Nur Hayati and Lawrence. Okay. Now, could it be possible that you have more than one part-timer and more than one full-timer? Yeah. And could these sales happen not only in your 2A lane, but in your 3A lane? for A lane. Yeah. And could it be that you have a more than 1-to-1 ratio between direct and indirect, whereby, as is the experience of most people who grow their teams, as the team grows, they have more and more indirect sales versus the direct sales. Yeah. So this is the bare bones figure. Yeah, actually. So seeing this, I hope you feel excited to be part of this business and see that this is absolutely achievable and realistic if you really dedicate yourself. Not everybody gets results instantly. You have to keep continuously improve yourself. You have to give demos. There are a few things to do, few things to avoid, for which Mr. Sam's training system supports us very much, both this weekly session and especially the once in 6 to 8 week session called Essential Kangen Workshop, which will be spoken more about, where he condenses his 10+ years experience into one afternoon. And just to close this, I would like to ask, if you're committed, how many part-timers and how many full-timers would you have under you after 1 year of activity? Yeah. You can just write the number part-time and then the number full-time. For example, like this, I'm just typing in the chat now. Something like this. What do you think is realistic in 1 year? How many part-timers and how many full-timers could you have in your team? Nobody has a team. All of you want to sell everything yourself? I don't recommend that. Then you have 4 part-timers, okay? One full-timer, okay? Yeah, sure. So that would already mean if you had 4 part-timers who do 1 direct and 1 indirect sale a month, you would have 4 times $9,600. That is some 36,000 K. Sorry, 36,000. So that would be quite amazing. Everybody says 1 part-timer. Fine, fair enough, no problem. Thank you, Sophia, Abdul, for your contribution.